we may get some more continuation to the downside this week.
Okay. Let's keep an eye out for that. All right, John, opening range has been established about 6 minutes in. Buyers came up in the Nasdaq, but sellers did step back. In S&P's in a very tight range. Dow not doing a whole heck of a lot. Any new thoughts as we see this opening range play out?
Yeah, the Nasdaq really kind of tested back into value from Friday. Value low was 19,955, showing signs of rejection of value.
Okay. Hey, Nick, when you have
S&Ps aren't moving at all.
They are not. I've noticed that. Share your screen real quick, Nick, when you have a chance.
Oh, I thought I did. My bad.
Oh, good. Gold pushing higher here. Only thing that's really moving, kind of open at 23.40. Currently trading 23.46. Push higher. I do have my Top Step daily levels open here on my screen. Always make a little real estate on your screen for that. Again, we have the house account open. Real trades to take just yet. We do have some levels. I got John's levels. I got Coach Jay's levels, Coach Ray, Coach Jack, Coach Paul, all different levels, different markets. If you want soybeans levels, corn levels, got those. Gold levels, got those. Of course, NASDAQ and S&Ps, plenty.
What have you got on gold levels?
What do we have on gold levels for Hogue? What do we got? What do we currently trade? 23.44, 23.44. Friday's value area high, 23.51. Friday's value point of control, 23.38, 23.38. So right in the middle there. 23.38 value point of control. Value area high, 23.51 in gold. Hey, D, in crude, you still see more room to the upside? Seeing it as the bulls did take control. Yeah.
I mean, if you
see 90s? Could you see 90s coming into play?
I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, so whether we're going to get all the way up there. But I mean, I can just tell you on the technical side what I see. We are taking some weekly supplies here where the previous sell-off came in the form of a drop-based drop. And sometimes these base areas that are sort of in the middle, they cause a temporary sell-off before the market goes all the way up to the originating area, which would be 83.46. So we're obviously quite a ways off from there. I would say that's possible this week if we continue to push higher. 90s, I would probably put them maybe into July if we continue upside. But yeah, not this week. I think that would be a little bit too much to ask for. Again, anything could happen, right? But from the technical point of view, we do have that resistance area at 23.45 that could cause some, a little bit of slowdown. It's going to take some time to break through that. And until then, I just want to see some intraday levels that we can take advantage of, maybe a mispriced opportunity if we kind of go a little bit further out, or if we get a retrace from something like an initial balance, so we have an obvious sustained auction. Right now, we don't have any of those, so we need to give it a little bit more time.
Okay.
Can someone wake up the spoos? We're like stuck in a 2-point range.
Dude, I know.
Yeah.
We're 10 minutes into the session, and it looks, it's got a smaller range than all of Globex.
Yes, it does. I am pulling up some levels.
Somebody needs to give it a quad espresso.
Yes.
Get out
quad espresso. Oh, my goodness. Yes.
Hey,
we got what's up, Johnny?
I was looking at gold this morning, and there was a late spike to the downside on Friday.
I was in on a gold trade this morning on one of the combines just to get my toes into the water, and that was a successful trade. I did get 891 in one of them and 323 on a smaller risk in the second one. But again, it was a combine trade, so do you really want to count that? But yeah, I did see some developments there. But right now, again, it's a new session. I still want to see what they do from this auction point of view. Are we going to stay above the initial balance? Are we going to fail the auction? Because that could be a good choice on an inside day if we're opening inside value. So there is a potential for failed auction here. But I'm kind of not that happy going into it right now because from a lower time frame, I don't think we're far enough away from the mean to make it worth my while. So yeah,
gold tilt at 71 here right now.
Yeah.
But it's attempting to go back into the initial balance. So if that remains for another 20 minutes or so, there could be a trade there. If I don't manage to get the failed auction because the initial balance is a little bit small for the size that we currently have, when we look at the liquidity in gold, there could be a chance for a neutral day. And that's when the range-bound trading should be taken into consideration. And then we can just look for mean reversions from the extremes of the session range. So that would be my second hypothesis. First one being we go higher. Second one being we failed the auction. And third one being we get stuck in a range. And then we modify and reassess.
Smart.
We did have some pretty good value rejection in
we did.
The Nasdaq. It's taken out the low of the opening range now.
We did, and we are seeing further weakness in about half of the Mag 7. I mean, pretty much everything but Meta. I mean, yeah, Meta and Tesla are pretty much the only ones that are green on the day. Nvidia's down about 2.5%. So we are seeing some weakness in the market darling that is Nvidia. Everyone knows how I feel about it. We are closing in at the split price of $120 a share.
Nvidia almost getting back to $120. Price that opened at for the split, I believe, $120 a share.
Yep.
What did we peak at? $140 maybe sometime last
140
week?
And probably like Nancy started selling calls against her position or something. And, naturally we start to retrace a little bit. I mean, that would be the most gangster thing ever and very much on par for something sounds like she would do. But
she just hammers the market.
Yeah.
All right, sellers in the house here. S&Ps and NASDAQ sellers in the house. I don't know if we're getting to 19,500. Here we go. See if we keep pushing here.
And my 19,500 target on the NASDAQ, that is a weekly target. That is basically, I'm kind of using it, thinking of it as like a week range, more or less, like a full extension, basically, of a typical week range. It would put us right around there. And it just fits. The 20-day moving average is sitting down towards that area, as well as, excuse me, like I said, it cleans up those single prints from the initial CPI, 2% ramp up that we kind of had out of the gate that day. So from a market structure, cleaning up, balanced auctions, as I would call it, that is kind of what you want to see if you're looking for, this to continue to build at higher prices and make new all-time highs. You'll want to see that structure kind of be built back down a little lower and then rebid off of it.
Yes, exactly.
I like your 19,500. 19,375 is weekly kickoff low in the NASDAQ.
Yeah.
The weekly kickoff high remains the same because it kissed it on Thursday, and that was it.
And we did reject on the NASDAQ right off the 24-hour VWAP, and have just been kind of cascading waterfalling since then. So I know some people love that quick little longer short off the 24-hour VWAP. I mean, that one was about as clean as it gets. So if you took it around the 960 area.
Just tested down to and checked a naked point of control down at 19,888.
88.
You remember that from last week, Andre? We talked about that level last week.
Yes, we did. Well, I guess we're going to try the S&Ps here. We got some SPU levels. 55.27. We're at value area low right now as we speak. I do have two check marks. 5519. 5519, perhaps. Friday lows maybe along there, perhaps. But you guys are both like in room to the downside. So
I do, but I am seeing absorption here at the lows around 900 on the NASDAQ. So this is where, and you got the pierce below the overnight low. So this is what I would call, potentially a cheap long now that we've kind of bounced back into that range above, 900. If we can hold this is kind of where you start to get a cheap long, stop at a new low, and, kind of make the range play to start the session.
It did test
ES's range is so tight, though. It
is, man.
Interesting.
This would be the long if you were going to take it. I would assume cheap long, like you're saying, Nick.
Yeah,
it's so tight right now. Open up.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little picky here. I didn't love how. I would have liked to see a little more excess on that pierce below the overnight low, but we'll see how this kind of builds. But it is holding 900 right now.
Yeah, a little bit slow on the open here, which is okay. Started a week.
And there it goes.
Minutes. Here come the buyers. 900s.
Wow. Yeah,
Easy,
cheap loss.
easy.
There you go.
Buy the 90s, sell you 10. Buy the 90s, sell you 10s. Boom, 20 points. Just like that. Cheap long. In and out. Real quick, in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, you will see the hashtag Fast Markets. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on X. Call it what you want. Tag us there and use the hashtag Fast Markets. Send us your trader setups, your swag, Life Funder certificates. Send us anything you want. We'll scrape the internet for you, and we'll show it to you later today in Fast Markets. Again, hit us up at Top Step. Use the hashtag Fast Markets. Be sure to share whatever's on your mind. We'll take a look
Speaking
at it as we get closer. Yeah, what do you got, Nick? What are you doing?
I received my hat and pin.
Oh, nice.
Yesterday in the mail. And I naturally immediately mentioned MP on Twitter asking where my 100K club is.
Oh, you hear that, MP?
So
Tell him, Nick.
I had a good laugh, but thank you guys for the hat. I don't know when I filled out that form, but it got here. So it will in fact reach your house if you did, fill out that Google form. Eventually it will get there.
Very cool. All right. Well, the buyers did step in S&Ps. Nasdaq, you had to be a quick one. Quick in, quick out. Very cool pin, Nick. All right, D, we hit $81 here in crude. We did see a bit of seller come in. We're about 9 cents off of those 81 even level, trading $80.91.
We have overnight highs there. So we have the little Asia and London supply with the high around 81.17. So that's what's reacting right now, because it's always a zone. It's not just a singular price point. You have a high, but within that high, you have like a supply area. So we gotta look for the edges of that supply, whether we're gonna get a reaction from it, a reversal, or whether we're just gonna go straight through it. For now, we are getting a reversal. If I had to guess, like what sort of a day we're gonna have, it might be that we get stuck in a bit of a range because it is Monday. Mondays can be a little bit slower. And sometimes they have a tendency to be more range bound than some of the rest of the days. And if you look at it statistically, they are on the smaller side when it comes to the session averages. So we need to be a little bit mindful not to try and jump into any momentum trades until proven otherwise. So if there's a clear failed auction or if there's a clear range, that's great. But if we get a momentum with quite some volume that sustains above the initial balance at some point, I may consider the longs as a momentum trade.
Yeah, see, this is more of an excess low on NQ that I would be looking for to long. I know the first one kind of worked for about 30 points, but we got a little pierce below that. So that's kind of what I wanted to see the first time. Now I'm a little iffy on longing it because it actually could, in theory, be like, hey, we're trending down now. This could easily turn into, like I said, that downside weakness that I'm looking for to kick off the week. Granted, it is post-OPEX, Monday. So a lot of institutions, a lot of big dealers, a lot of people are repositioning and adjusting the way they're hedged and things like that going forward. So it just tends to be a kind of a weirder week with potentially some weakness as they, like I said, they reposition some of their orders, some of their options and things like that. So that's kind of why I was leaning downside.
Yeah, that the buyers did get rejected there. Again, this is last week of the month, last week of the quarter as well. So we may see some repositioning.
On my charts, I have an NQ that touched in the value low from Friday zone, and that's where the sell-off came from. Wasn't really focusing much on NQ, but it does look better for short for me. Let's see what happens. I mean, if they start ignoring this average daily range low, which is sitting at 841 in NQ, if we ignore that, then it's going to be one of those trending days. So clearly we're in some sort of inventory adjustment in that case.
And I would imagine, D, that's probably why we're seeing the divergence in ES and NQ right now is the SPX positioning that dealers are potentially doing because it's not moving. So it's pretty much stuck in a range versus NQ is clearly seeing some weakness, about 0.5% divergence right now, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's a lot.
There's a divergence. And then you got the Dow making new highs. Dow shot out of a cannon here. So yes, there's a divergence between S&Ps and Nasdaq. Nasdaq's sitting around the lows.
I had a little DAX long from this morning, so that just reached targets. So that's kind of going the opposite way. Interesting. usually follows whatever the equities are doing, but it's kind of got a mind of its own recently. Just does its own thing, like Dow.
Yes,
DAX, same thing. We do our own thing. The rest of the world does not exist.
Looking at Till here, 50-50 across the board. There's 66% long Dow, but like Deanna said, Dow just kind of does its own thing, kind of like the DAX. A bit of a quieter open. We did see some opportunities in the Nasdaq. Could have gotten long off those 80s, sold the 10s. But there was some more sellers that came in after that. So with that being said, it is Monday to the week, Monday, last week of the month, last week of the quarter. So I want to go to Eddie. Eddie, what do we got on the calendar today? I took a sneak peek, didn't see too much, but I'm sure you looked at it much more carefully than I did.
Yeah, we got wee numbers today. Wee numbers. Coming up in about 38 minutes here, we got the Dallas Fed. It might sort of just be a factor, but I'm not betting the farm on that one. Coming up at 10:30 today Central Time, we got a 3-month bill auction, 6-month bill auction, 1 o'clock today. We might want to keep an eye open for the FOMC member Daly will be speaking. And then later on in the evening, Fed Governor Cook will be speaking. And that's all we've got for today. Back to you, Andre.
Thanks, Eddie. All right. Well, so we do have we have Daily this afternoon, a couple small bill auctions, hour and a half or so, but not too much. So this might be a technical trade unless the headline does hit the wire, which Eddie will be all over and let us know. So all you technicians out there. All right, Nick, those I don't know what to make of the Nasdaq with what we just seen here in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's kind of that logic where if you took the first long, you may have gotten shaken out of it because it kind of just ripped a quick 20 and then immediately probably stopped you out if you were still holding it. And then it rebids out to probably what was the appropriate long. So that's just a frustrating kind of brutal trade because realistically, I would have been stopped out because either that or I would have taken a quick profit. But most likely you were looking for the range trade on that first long and it may have, rotated. You were looking for the rotation maybe back to 940s, 950s, and you ended up getting stopped. And now it's going to make the break as ES finally decided to, jump out of bed here and wake up for the first time today.
Sure did, Nick. S&P's about the 8-9 handle rally here. Last 5 minutes in this 5-minute candle I'm looking at. Yeah, brutal on the Nasdaq. If you caught your shorts, you didn't take profits. If you got long, I probably would have been stopped out too, just to see a rip higher as well. So this is definitely tricky. Brutal, Dolby. Brutal. What do you make with this?
Yeah, that's just tough price action, but that's what you can expect. Like I said, end of quarter, post OPEX, end of the month. There's just a lot of weird positioning going on. So I think this is why sometimes it makes sense to wait for. Most institutions are positioning in the first 30 minutes, at least waiting for the first 15. Sometimes before you jump in, sometimes it's safer, especially when institutions are positioning at this time of the month, this time of the week.
Agree. You got 74% long tilt. Go ahead, Johnny.
We did have some negative delta, mostly in the S&Ps, and we still have negative delta in the Nasdaq right now, minus 1,100, and we're right in the middle of the range right now. S&Ps did kind of reach the high of value from Friday and is continuing to try and push above that. 55.38 was value high.
55.38. Yes, it is. Got that. Value
low. Sure if this is going to be enough to drag the Nasdaq into value from Friday because it already rejected it earlier today, as Deanna was pointing out.
Wow, what a move!
Look at that. I thought sellers were going to be in
60
control.
5-minute candle there.
I thought sellers were in control
Did
for a
anyone
minute.
see that?
70.
Did anyone see that Twitter post from Anna Marie with Elmo?
Yes.
We got it.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking at. Yeah.
She was dunking on people.
The Nasdaq.
Yes.
There we are.
Yes. Yes. Me. We love our Nasdaq traders around here. Hell,
so good. Yeah.
house account can be a Nasdaq trader. Yes, pretty much spot on there. Shout out Big J. Shout out Jay watching the chat here.
For those of you who are commenting on the wind machine, it's not a wind machine. I'm not trying to do like a Beyonce. It's a really hot day in London, so I'm just trying not to die, okay? It's super hot here.
Oh, we thought you were doing a music video over there, D. We thought you were doing music.
I bring my wind machine with me everywhere.
So good. Buyers keep stepping. Those 27s, value area low from value area low, 55.27s. We did have a check mark there for the S&Ps. A check mark. Would have been very nice. But we do have two
Gold
check
looks
marks.
like it's failing the auction, but it's not.
Okay.
Like the profit margin is not great. Yeah. So we're going to wait until the neutral day appears and then look for some other opportunities.
IB high there. Is that worth a risk for a long?
IB
on where?
Gold.
Ooh, I don't know. I wouldn't long this because if you look in the daily chart, there's a bearish engulfing on the daily that rejected the supply.
Yeah.
So I'm not really trusting this. This is not what I would want to see if I'm going long because, before you know it, we're going to be at that supply that we just created on Friday, and we're already seeing some sellers there. I would need to see more commitment to the upside. So if anything, I'm more biased to the short side at the moment.
Hey, Flyer Jim. Shout out Flyer Jim. You joined us last week. Up 469 micro, 39 bucks on the XFA. Gold did well this morning. Out to go flying. Very cool. Check in later. Take pics, Flyer Jim. Take pics if you're going flying. Send them in. Maybe we'll go to #power. buyers here. Look at this. Man, I thought the sellers were going to push this sucker lower, Nick.
Yeah, I did too. But, that's
It's trading.
like I said, I
charts, or pardon me, Gabe, if you switch over to my charts real quick. Looking at it, and this is a 30-minute chart of the Nasdaq I was looking at this morning. As everybody was talking about shorts, this pattern just kind of popped out at me. But we did have a test earlier this morning. We did break out to the downside. Here we have our upper trend line connecting lower highs, and our lower trend line sort of connecting these two lower lows right around the same level. Had a test breakout this morning, came back through, trading right back around VWAP at 940 right now. But a case for the short position that everybody's talking about, a breakout to the downside on this could get a nice 40 to 50 point move lower. So
Wow.
There's my check mark for you.
Check right through. Appreciate that, JD. Check mark for the shorts.
All right, I'll be back in a little bit with that leaderboard.
Thank you, JD. I saw Dolby in the chat laughing about the Dow. The Dow is just, we're about 40 points from 40,000 right now. The Dow is the best, man. The Dow, John, the Dow's the best, man. It's kind of in this corner doing his thing. Nothing to see here. All right, 55.52 last trade. S&Ps. It's tough to pull the tough to pull the absolutely, Dolby. Got to be zigging when they're zagging, Dre. 100% Dolby. That's what the Dow is doing. All right, buyer stepping in here in gold. Last trade 23.45. 23.45. About a buck and a half off the highs there. All right, 30 points away from 40,000 here in the Dow. I'm kind of excited to get to 40,000 in the Dow. Can we do it? 30 points away. Come on,
D,
Dow.
how you holding up?
D, how's it going over there?
I'm still melting. Thank you.
No.
Looking at so looking at potential for an S&P short. I mean, one thing that's worrying me, because I know that the initial balance does get broken on most of the days. So we're still inside initial balance. I mean, for the most ideal situation, we would be seeing a failed auction, but that's not happening right now. However, there's still that reversals from the ADR high. And that makes me think that shorts are still a potential here.
Yeah, I wanted to get short at 940.
940?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nick, I'm just going to ask you. Don't sound like you're too confident in any of these trade ideas just yet.
No, I just haven't jumped into anything. But same thing. It's one of those days I'm reading it well. It's just like I'm kind of just a little hesitant, and sometimes that's a killer.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that, but then there's people that are jumping into trades, and you wish you were flat still and hadn't taken a trade. So,
yep, you can go both ways for sure.
Yeah, how do your dogs deal with the heat? They're lazy today?
Well, they're downstairs, and most of them are pretty young. So the downstairs area is much cooler. So upstairs is always hotter, and that's where my office is. That's a bit annoying. But yeah, so far they're dealing with it just fine. If it gets any hotter, though, we obviously prevent them from going outside, because that's not a good thing for them. Yeah, I'm just looking at this gold here.
What are you thinking here, D? It's like it's pushing higher.
I'm thinking it's short in gold, but I wanted to take out the session high first, kind of like a liquidity grab, and then back down into a rotational day. Look at Bookmap.
Sellers coming in here, Nasdaq. I know SSS liked 890s. I had a check mark right here, right now, 890s. But this would be the 1, 2, 3, 4th time we come test this.
Knock, knock.
Exactly. Bet you we will break through.
Speaking of knock, knock, watch gold here. Gold pushing, might be tagging in out here.
Wrong upside, yeah.
The dip selling covered calls. Dakota dabbling in options lately. Quite well, I must say. We never got to the 20,000s in the Nasdaq. We never got to the 40,000s in the Dow. We got more selling here in the Nasdaq. Look at the 5-minute. Can we push lower here? Last trade, 18,000, 19,000. Scratch that. 19,872 last trade. First time only by 890s. Yep. Nice job, SS. Don't like multiple tests. That's what Nick was just saying. We said knock, knock. We don't like multiple tests to the downside either. Nasdaq leading the way to the down. Here we go. New lows.
New low.
Extended
Exactly
below
what-
the initial bounce.
There you go. That's exactly why Nick said no trade on the longs there. Here we go. See if the S&Ps can follow. D's watching gold right now. Perhaps a short. See what she does around these 2346 level.
Nvidia's down 4%.
What?
5%.
What?
We're in a bear market in Nvidia. I'm pretty sure this is illegal.
Sound the alarms. I'm pretty sure this is illegal.
Meanwhile, Boeing still has astronauts stuck in space. Nvidia's selling
I
off.
saw
What's
that.
going on in the world?
I saw that. Boeing's going through it these days, man. Boeing is going through it.
It's like one thing after another with them, I swear.
They just cannot. Here we go. We are 16 points away from 40,000, 15 points away from 40,000 here in the Dow. Dow just kind of doing his thing. New lows, NASDAQ. S&P's kind of in the middle. So we got divergences all over the place right now.
Yep, we've said this like 3 times, but this is just a weird session so far.
So far for sure. Will this be a cheap long in the
Nvidia's
NASDAQ? I mean, I feel like we're kind of 6%. What is going on? I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
I need what's the opposite of an air horn for Nvidia as it sells down now? Maybe like a trombone or something.
Wah, wah. There you go. There you go. That's exactly it. Air being let out of a balloon. I don't know. Yeah, timber, something like that. It's pretty good. All right, 10 points away from 40,000, 7 points away from 40,000, 6 points away. Can we do it right here, right now? Dow.
But Hoag's favorite. Let's see if the Nasdaq we get a failed downside auction here and we bounce back into the range,
That would be the
which is one of my
buy.
favorite
Now you're
trades. To take.
talking.
Oh, you're talking. Johnny likes that. Now you're just talking dirty.
I'd be more concerned with Nvidia breaking through the split price of 120 to lead us to more downside, because there's a lot of people that probably started the Nvidia positions at that point post split. Excuse me. So it's just something to watch.
Great call, Nick. Big area of interest, this $120 level in NVIDIA. That is the price after the split. A lot of people are long from there. Great call.
39,996 within 4 ticks of 40,000.
Get it
Dow
together,
futures.
Dow. Get it together, Dow Futures.
You're going to do it, do it.
Dude, you're gonna do it, John. Exactly.
Gee.
All right. We got 5,400 people watching us with a little light on the likes here. So please click like, please click subscribe. See if we can get to 102,000 subscribers by end of day. Again, we got a little something in store. We got a lot in store for you guys tomorrow. Celebration of 100,000 subscribers. I'll be wearing my Sunday's best tomorrow. I don't know about you, John, but I will be looking spiffy for the celebration tomorrow.
What are you wearing? You wearing a suit?
I'm gonna go suit. I think suit and tie. Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's formal. It's a big day. So 1% of the 51 million YouTube channels out there get 100,000 subscribers, and here we are.
I'll get a
1%.
tuxedo T-shirt or something.
Yes, absolutely. Maybe Canadian tuxedo. Just go all denim.
There you
Never
go.
know. Birthday suit. Hey now, Dakota. No, Dakota. I already
You
saw
gonna wear
your.
a whole
I saw your.
suit, Andre?
Hey.
Or just the top?
Just the top. I'll be definitely wearing shorts. Yes, Dakota. I saw your comment in the chat earlier. So get your mind out of the gutter there, Dakota. All right, D. No short taken here in gold just yet. I see last trade 23.45. What price would you be looking for? What would you be looking for?
I'm looking for a particular price action that happens on quieter days, and it doesn't look like this. So what you want to see, and this is where bookmap can come into play, is for the high to get taken out, and then a very quick influx of orders to the opposite side that are very obvious. this is that's basically a stop grab, a liquidity grab. So that's what I'm waiting for, because I think that we might be in a rotational day. This has all been very quiet, very kind of dragging.
Mm-hmm.
It goes up, then it falls down, but it doesn't complete the auction, doesn't even touch VWAP. It's just like, ugh. So I want to see some commitment behind the moves, and I'm just not really seeing that. So before I do anything, I want to see the high of 23.46.5 get taken out, and then to see the influx of orders, and then I'll have my setup. For now, it's just like,
Yep.
we're not doing anything. We're like,
I love the patience for Sean, though. I love the patience for Sean.
Down.
Yep. All right. Can Dow do it? One more try. About 6
So
points.
keep waiting, keep melting away.
How hot is it there, D? How hot is it in London today?
So when we're talking about like actual temperatures, it's technically not that hot. It's about 80 degrees, but because of the high humidity, it feels so much worse. It feels like it's over 100.
Oof.
And it's always like that. Everything feels sweaty and disgusting, and like you can't breathe. So yeah, but generally people are like, London is not that hot. No, it's not, but we're pretty north and it's very humid. And that's a horrible combination.
Yes, that will do it.
NVIDIA cleanly broke 120. So this is
really?
where I
New
would
lows
be a little
Nasdaq.
iffy on longs on the Nasdaq at the very least.
Wild. Okay.
Well, here's your timber.
Timber.
Yeah, this is
There we
falling
go.
hard here.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Dow, another high,
19.5 or bust.
39,999.
999s.
And starting to see a little iceberg order in the Dow here. 39,990. 463 volume, 333 on the offer.
Sellers.
Yep.
Yep. Huh. Okay. All right, well, we're gonna keep an eye on NVIDIA. That's clearly what everyone's watching here. Nice catch there, Nick. Nick, you're on it, man. You're on it.
I'm on it, just not taking trades. I'm just
I know.
just talking.
The analysis, I know.
But this is part of the fun of being on the show, and I always trade a little. I would say slightly different than when I'm doing this, because I'm giving commentary, because I'm talking through things, because I'm reading in real time and trying to articulate it to everybody.
Sure.
It changes the way I have to trade and operate. So sometimes, yeah, I may be firing things off, but it's usually because I've been not talking, not paying attention for 5-10 minutes. And Andre's like, Nick, what do you doing over there? Basically. And it probably means I'm in the attempt to get into a trade.
You're hawking a trade. I know. Command says up $600 on my XFA locked out on the day. Nice job, Command. Thanks for always tuning in. I see that name in the chat all the time. All right. Buyers did step in here. 19,820. Buyer stepped in. Anne Marie noticed that about you too, Nick, for a tick. He gets locked in. He's not getting quiet. He's not neglecting the show. He's getting locked in on the trade, looking for price action, reading the tape.
Yep.
What you do. Yeah, talking trading is learn how to do it.
It's a little different. I've tried to explain this to people. The show is a lot of fun. I really enjoy coming on and having conversations, but it is a different equation. Dakota and I were talking about this, but doing it in front of people, and in a weird way, I care more about like having a good day in my Top Step Live account than having a larger day or a bigger loss. I care more about in the Top Step account than I do my personal account. So I could have a massive loss in a personal account, and it would affect me less than hitting a daily loss limit in my Top Step account. There is something about, being involved in the community that you guys have built and things like that, that just, it changes the equation a little bit for me. It makes it just a different way of how you have to think about trading.
100%. What's up, Noah Hall? Agree, Nick. All right, Dean, no trade taken in that gold. She was looking for a short.
Yeah, I'm not interested in gold now because it didn't do what I wanted it to do. It's still very quiet. The initial balance high in crude oil is here, though. So I'm got a little long. So 81.09, 1 crude oil long. Let's see if we get a push outside of the initial balance. And I'm only using like a 9-tick stop here because I don't want to risk any more in case we start to go into a failed auction. And the reason why I'm going long is because we did manage to sustain above the overnight high, and then we tagged the initial balance high, which is what I was looking for. So now I want to see that push outside of the initial balance again. We're right on the edge.
Christopher Cortez in the chat says, "Can you guys please make an interesting poll?" Just leaves it at that. He's going to need more from you than
And
that.
that should be the poll. Can
I don't
you make
know.
an interesting poll? Yes, no.
There you go. Yes or no? Just yes or no. I don't know. Christopher Cortez. I'm not sure what to do.
I'm just kidding.
Eddie, what do we do with that?
We got a lot of people in chat saying that, hey, I've profited already. I've locked out already on a Monday. Let's get a poll in there and see who's up and who's down here on a Monday. You know, we talk about that a lot. Do you trade on a Monday? I try to avoid trading on a Monday. Maybe we get a poll like that.
I like that.
Are you up? Are you down? Are you flat?
I like that. Up, down, scratch on the day for Monday, about an hour and a half into the session. There has been some movement. Been choppy. Everyone's being very patient now. It's all right. I'll take one trade to make your day. One trade to make that day. There you go. Chat is in, or the poll is in the chat here. Okay, what's up, D?
Nothing, just minus 90 on that.
Okay. What was your trade? I'm sorry.
It looks like it's going to fail the auction. It was just a long CL from initial balance high, but I only use a small stop to make sure that I don't get smacked if it goes into a failed auction, which it's now doing. So we now have a failed auction in crude oil.
Failed upside auction crude oil. She is right. Did top out at the $81.25 range. Currently trading $80.93.
All right, next question.
How about that, Oak?
Oh, my goodness.
All right, 50-50 across the board here on the tilts. Nothing really showing there. John, can we get a quick Delta update on ES and NASDAQ here at 9:55 Central Time?
Negative 11,000 in the S&Ps.
Really?
Negative 4,200 in the NASDAQ.
Wow. Okay, that grew.
If we open the next 30-minute bar below the initial balance in the NASDAQ, is that a short?
Great question. Ask that question one more time, John.
So here it is.
Your chart. Look at John's chart here.
So there's the opening range. Get the chart up here in a second.
Yeah, we are being very, very patient
There we
house
go.
account right now, which is totally fine. What's up? All right, show us, John.
So IB high, volume value area low, and points of control from Friday. IB low, 19,866. If we open the next 30-minute bar below that level, we're going to leave single TPOs. Does that give us a potential opportunity for a continuation short? This is the opposite of what we did Friday in the S&Ps in the house account. It turned out to be a really good trade, but we just didn't manage it very well.
Yes.
D?
Yeah, so one thing that I don't like is that we have the average daily range low that we've just tagged in NQ at 842. So even if we leave single prints, there's a very high chance that we take out the single prints and go back inside the initial balance. I was really more in favor of shorts somewhere near the value low. And now we have a supply that was created after the fall at 19,921, thereabouts. So that would be where I would be looking for more shorts. Because if we're looking at this, it's already building structure, right? So we have 3 TPOs per row. I don't really like that for a trending directional day.
So now we'll end up with a failed downside auction here, won't we?
Well, yeah, exactly. That there's another problem. In 2 minutes, we're gonna have a failed downside auction from ADR high. Sorry, ADR low. So we failed the downside auction to the upside. And that, for me, would be a better trade if we
Long.
can limit risk. I don't know how you limit risk in NQ
Right.
when it moves 68 points from the low in
Cross
3.5
signals here.
seconds. So yeah,
All right.
so I'm in favor of longs here, not shorts.
This market just won't make a decision today.
It cannot, Nick. I'm thinking we got so many cross signals here.
This is another reason.
It was
range bound.
it's like the third time
we're
failed
short,
downside
we're
auction
long.
potentially.
Yeah, but then we're like short, we're long, we're short. What does that mean? It means it's in a range. Like none of us
It's a
can
range,
make up our bloody mind. So it's a range. So that's why we need to really try not to go for directional trades, but rather than go for the second standard deviation zone, then down to a mean reversion to the middle. So let's try and maybe find a trade at the extremes of the range rather than trying to fish for directional trades on a day where we're clearly not in a direction for an hour and a half now.
No.
Back inside just bounce low, back inside overnight low on the Nasdaq.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a range trade. You
Aren't the
long
ranges-
that, near that low and look
I
for
got a
point
question,
control.
guys. Aren't the highs and lows, the range keeps extending themselves? So how do you know where to get in? And if it is a range, and I'm not disagreeing that it isn't, but I'm looking here
They
at
don't typically extend all the time, right? So you have typically you will have orientation points that will clearly act as reversals. So we have value low that was overshot, yes, by 37. Thank you. But it's still there. Like it never actually closed a 30-minute TPO inside value. So that would be your one orientation point. I do have my own orientation points that are slightly above. So that's the average session high just above 20K. And now we have similar levels to the downside. So we clearly have established session highs and lows. Until they go, those are your reversal points. So just under 20K and just above 20K and just under 19821.
19821. Yeah, well, perhaps a short over 20K around 2020, 2040. Dolby says in the chat here, and you did. Yeah, this is a broadening. It's a megaphone, most sinister of all ranges. It's hard. It keeps expanding. The ranges keep broadening. You can see that here. That's essentially what I was trying to say. Thank you, Dolby. Not even 5 minutes. That's how volatile it is. So it's tricky. Very, very tricky here.
Violently range bound, I think Dolby likes to call these.
That's a great Dolbyism. Violently range bound is indeed that.
Love that.
All right. 6 minutes into the poll, over 1,300 votes in the poll. Question: who's up and who's down on the day? 58% up. That's I see that number much higher. 58% up, 26% down, 16% flat. Hindsight Capital is having a rough day today. Only 58% is up. That's tricky. Seeing nothing here on the tilt. So Nick for a tick, no trades in the New York session. I believe D took a little nibbler. Managed to risk nicely. John, no trades. What do we, John? I think it's more sitting on your hands right now. All right, crude. We just see a failed upside auction, but the buyer stepped in here in crude. D. Now we're trading above 81 bucks, trading 81.12.
No, it's above.
Everything is all over the place.
That's not what I wanted to see. That's very messy. We've built structures. Looking at more like a P-shaped day now in crude oil. Just about messy P-shaped day. So there might be some opportunities there if we continue to scream to the upside, or if we fail to go higher above the already established high at 81.26. I can't read today. The heat is. Yes, let me grab some air. So if we don't manage to go too much higher than 81.26, this could be still a rotational day in crude oil. But if we carry on to scream upside, it could be that summer demand taking hold, in which case the ADR high and average session range high around 81.50 should be ignored. And then later in the day, we might get another chance to get into the directional move. But the good news is I was right on that. I just wish that it would have actually tagged the initial balance high rather than giving us a fake out failed auction. So a very messy day. But this was the move that I was looking for. Now I have no way to limit risk, and it's gone up 35 points, so I have to sit it out. There's no point to chase. And that's absolutely fine.
Oof, yeah, crude just shot out of a cannon right there.
Yep. Very
40 cent
erratic.
rally.
This is not normal.
40-cent rally in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. D, can you say that was out of nowhere? Was it, I guess you said
it was out of nowhere. Like I was expecting a move, but I don't know whether we had some news, because that's a lot of movement for that time frame. Don't see anything obvious. So it was probably just a technical move. Somebody plowed in a load of money and it went up. So more buyers than sellers.
Yes, when in doubt, why are we rallying? More buyers than sellers. Crude just blew through the highs. Sure did.
Yeah.
Let's get a live trader update here at Top Step. Not everyone's trading too much. I see some green here. Dakota up 13 grand. NES up $4,300. Eric M up 1,100. Tran L up $2,900. But Dakota up 13 grand. Interested to see what that trade was. Maybe got the long. I don't know. Dakota, if you're in here, tell us what you did.
Yeah, tell us.
And as always, make sure to tune into Slow Markets, 8 p.m. Central Time. Get some more Coach Dakota. He's been nailing that gold trade right off the bat. Right around 7:55 Central, 8 p.m. Central. Sellers just step in, and he's been getting with it. Got a poll here in the chat. Who's trading the Dow today? Me? Not me? Not today, but I do. Me, not me. Not me. Did we ever get to 40,000? We did not get to 40,000 in the Dow. Nick, you looking at anything in particular there? Or you just kind of scanning the internet?
I'm interested right here.
Cool. What are you doing?
I'm short the Nasdaq at 913.
Okay. How many times?
5.
5. Short 5 from 913. Update that board. You get locked in when you get in these trades. All right, we'll leave you alone.
Yeah, I took a scratch trying to get into this trade because it ripped 15 points as I was trying to start building into one. So I'm trying to at least get my money back and kind of reset here.
Gotcha.
But I was basically looking for the VWAP play, previous day low, rejection, and continued downside is kind of what I'm looking for here.
Scott Vaughn. That made me chuckle, Scott Vaughn. 913. It's currently trading 19,900 in the Nasdaq. All right, gold new 5-minute candle just opening up here. Push higher. Last trade, not gold. I'm sorry, crude oil. Last trade $81.32. Dow stuck around that, or S&P stuck around 550 level. Currently trading 55.48. Just look at the tilt here. It's 60% long gold, 61% short Dow. So there we go. It's saying, nope, we're not going to hit 40,000 today, or just yet, I should say. 71% long crude oil, 71% long crude. See what NVIDIA's doing here. NVIDIA hovering around that $120 level. We did dip beneath there, bottomed out at $118. My goodness. Buyers did step in and say, hey, we got discount prices. Getting along from that split price, getting along from better than that post-split price. So we are trading above 120 in NVIDIA.
Thinking about putting in some bids down below here in NVIDIA.
I mean, yeah. 118. So that was shopping in the discount bin there. I'm guessing some people were thinking, a lot of institutions like, oh, we get this for 118. Our clients won't be mad at us.
Wishing orders.
Yeah, our clients won't be pissed. We're trying to get some exposure.
Yep.
All right, guys, we do have some plugs coming up with Eddie. We got Series 3 with Jack, stats, more stats from JD. We got fast market submissions still left here in fast markets. About 50 minutes left here in fast markets. Again,
right, I'm flat. I could have took the scratch earlier. I'm just getting out and resetting.
Did you take profit?
Yeah, I'm back to break even on the day.
Okay,
I want to just get out and reset. I don't love this short because it's continuing to hover right there. Yeah. But I was hoping for the move to happen and we didn't quite get it. It still may roll over here past 900, but this was where I was looking to initially long. So if we're doing the range play, I mean, I could still see us continuing to get fine buyers right here. So My stop was realistically going to be, shortly above 920. So I was not going to give it a lot of room to begin with.
Gotcha. All right, we got his day back. He's scratched on the day. Nice job.
Yeah, sometimes when you're trying to build in and it just immediately rips your face, and it's like, you know what? I just was not timing that well. As D says, NQ can just be a painful instrument.
Indeed.
Because once again, was it wrong? Just immediately got ripped for no reason.
Yeah.
Been playing with it in a practice account just to see what the buzz is.
Yeah, the buzz.
The Nas crack for
a
reason.
That's correct. You saw Emery's meme.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
The fact that it's Elmo as well. It's
Elmo.
Muppet.
Yes. Innocent old Elmo. Just can't get enough of that Nas crack, And you blame him. It's when you're right, it's the most fun market. Here we go. New buyers, more buyers here in crude, $81.36.
See what happens around 81.50.
81.50.
If it gets stuck, because that's the average daily range high and average session range high as well. They can be very good statistical levels for reversals. Another option, if we don't carry on screaming to the upside, would be that we just get stuck in this range at 28.50 and then overnight VWAP 80, 83. And then it just kind of keeps bouncing between those two levels. So that's definitely an option for Monday.
Okay.
And it would be nice to get a directional trade. Those are always easier than some of the other types of trades that we can get. But you don't always get them. They typically happen about 35% of all tradable days in crude oil in the last sort of 3 years.
So everyone's flat.
Still making lower
Wouldn't
highs.
that be nice?
Yeah.
To just constantly have directional days and just
D.
direction, buy or sell.
Would be wonderful.
Remember those deals? Just
It would
buy the
probably
dip.
improve my trading.
Yes, it would.
Because I'm terrible I'm terrible at holding directional days, and I'm terrible at entering if I didn't catch the move early.
Yeah, I'm generally not too bad because of the orientation points that I use, but yeah, I think for me, failed auctions are the easiest because you get that very quick run through to the opposite side, so you don't have to wait for it forever and a day.
Yep.
Okay. There's weekly kickoff high in crude, 81.45.
45. I know D's looking at 50s. D's watching 50s right here, right now.
The same area, yeah.
Dolby.
Yeah.
Right, did we tag the 50s? I don't think we got to the 50s. I saw 47s print. I did not see 50s. Getting right up there now.
Yeah.
With the run on crude here, we're seeing some new highs here. I'm not really showing anything over the wire to indicate that move.
I looked
So
briefly. It's probably just a technical move.
Could be. Summertime.
Summer demand. Yeah.
We got a 3-month and a 6-month bill auction here. About 19 minutes. I did take a quick peek at the 10-year yield. Just for bleeps and giggles here. 426 on the yield. 426 last I checked. Well off. I think we saw in the 4.6s early or mid-May. We saw in the 4.6, 4.7s. So we have come off considerably from there. It's like when Bank of Canada and the ECB cut. Kind of relieve the yield pressure there. Israel declaration.
So far, that entry 9.14.13 still holding previous day low.
Still holding
on the Nasdaq, but I'm glad I flattened because I'd rather just reset and get a clean entry. This is still kind of diddling the middle now. Point of control sitting right around there. But it also is potentially, if we are going to get further downside, you're making lower highs. This is where you'd potentially want to reoffer on NQ if you were looking for kind of us to re-break and potentially build lower below initial bounce low. But right now it looks very range day.
It is. It is, but it's broadening. Such a silly market right now. Dolby says, that sarcasm right there. Dolby, I can sense it through the chat. All right.
The
S&P
classic rotation out of NVIDIA and into Apple. Very diverse.
Jeez. You cracked me up, Nick.
I mean, you see half the Mag 7
I'm looking at the
bidding,
chart.
and you got
I'm
NVIDIA
looking at
down
the
4%.
chart.
It looks
It's just like, what are we rotating out of for outside of just profit taking?
Out of tech into tech. What do you mean?
Yep. The market is just tech. It's all outside of the Dow, as Jack has pointed out to us.
Speaking
the
of
market
that,
is basically 6 companies, and they all happen to be tech companies.
You're a tech guy. You understand why?
I know exactly why, but
I get it. I love it. Following up on that poll here, 700 votes. Who's trading the Dow today? Over 700 votes in just a couple minutes. Only 10% are saying me. 78% saying not me. 12% saying not today, but I do. So 78% saying not me. That's my folks. That, my friends, is why we don't talk about the Dow very much here at Top Step. But we'll keep an eye on it. See if we hit 40,000. Nice read there, Nick, getting out.
Yeah. Like I said, my stop would have been just above probably 920. So really only giving it somewhere between 5 and 7 points of room, which is not a great trade. But like I said, that was more of a reset because, I tried to build in the early 900s and it just immediately ripped me 20 points. So I got stopped as I was placing a stop.
Nice read. Andrew A in the chat. First rule of Dow, you don't talk about Dow. I mean, if it hits 40,000, we'll talk about it. I'm sure I'll throw in Tuckman's lap here and Power Players in about 45 minutes. Just because that guy can just go on and just talk. It's fun to listen to him, especially when he gets on a rant.
Good old tagged the weekly kickoff level and my ADR high and reversed. I'm glad I didn't go into that. Jumping in.
Yep. Gold just chilling. Last trade 23.44. All right, it is 15 after the hour. Do have some more stats from JD. Plug Series 3 hashtag Fast Markets coming up. JD, when you're ready, we can jump in with that. That's what's next up on the docket.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. You want to do it right now?
Perfect. Let's do it, JD. Yeah, I love this. This is everyone's favorite leaderboard.
Sweet. Let's take a look at those XFA P&Ls real quick.
Yep.
Here are yesterday's best XFA P&L leaders. Jaziel, Jeffrey, Damien, Nick W, and Soren. Soren's on our leaderboard right now. We're going to see that name again in just a minute. Always big numbers coming out of the XFAs. All these traders trade in Nasdaq exclusively. Nothing but the Nasdaq here. All right. Here is the bottom half of that top 10 list. All right, let's start at the bottom. Sadara, new to the list today, jumped up on the leaderboard after profiting close to 30 grand across 3 XFAs on Friday. Arjun did not trade, held on to 9th place for another day. David A picked up about 2 grand, moved up 2 rungs on the ladder. Kingway, who we saw take a nice payout last week, sitting comfortably in 7th place. And Nick Fora, tick.
Yeah.
You're looking at him right now, folks. Nick did drop from 4th down to 6th place after a little drawdown on Friday, but he is still up there. He's not going anywhere.
That's
nice
right,
$18,000 drawdown's always fun.
I didn't want to shoot the number out right in your face,
I don't care. It's part of the game. You trade 6 accounts with that type of risk. That's what you're asking for. And that's real money to me, people.
Yes, it is.
All right. Here are your top 5.
Wrong graphic.
Got it.
There it is.
A fake out.
Yeah, sometimes the buttons are real small on this, Sometimes you just hit the wrong one. All right. Starting at the bottom, Soren finally moved out of 7th place on Friday after profiting more than $16,000 trading in 5 XFAs.
Damn.
Soren was in 7th place for 6 consecutive days. We just saw him on the XFA P&L leader list also. All right, Raphael is transferring funds from an XFA over to the live account. So once those transactions are complete, his current take will be updated. But for now, he's sitting in 4th place. His current take is more than that. But again, once those transfers are complete, we'll get his real number, hopefully by tomorrow. Adrian was in 5th place on Friday. Adrian took home about $8,000 trading in 5 XFAs. Brian P. took a $4,000 drawdown on Friday, but still moved up a notch and is sitting in 2nd place for now. And Dakota suffered a $13,000 drawdown, but remains the leader. And I believe he's up $13,000 right now. If I'm not mistaken.
Just a
Scratch.
Yeah, scratch.
Big swing there.
Yeah, down 13 to up 13, scratch.
Well, that's what I got for you.
Thanks, JD.
You got it. Catch you guys later.
Yep. All right, D, we're coming up to those 50s, $81.50 here in crude oil. 49 cents last trade.
There's nothing for me to do here. There's no way to limit risk here yet. If we leave single prints to the upside and we ignore this 81.50, that will provide me an opportunity to limit risk at some point. But I doubt that that's going to happen before New York lunchtime, which is in like 40 minutes.
European close here in about 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Nice read there,
and
Nick.
also this move could be that. It could be that European close wiggle, extra liquidity and volume going into the euro close. So I don't want to be involved in that unless I already have a trade on.
All right, here we go. 75% long crude oil on the tilt. 75% long. As we do trade $81.50. 66% long crude, 64% long Nasdaq, 64% long S&Ps as well. They're bullish. We did have a minus 11,000 delta about 25 minutes ago in the ES. When John gets back, we get a delta update there. Nice catch on watching those 55.50s, that delta accumulation here in S&Ps. I'm not going to lie. My personal account, had I got that information in real time, I would have gotten long with that. And we would have gotten stopped out because we did take some serious pressure on that. So that's interesting to see. It's like a 3,500 accumulation there on the bid. Those 55.50s. So no trade's been the best trade today. Although crude oil, more buyers here. 81.55 last trade. As we have 75% long on the tilt. Yes, pushing. I'm looking at Top Step daily levels here in crude oil. 81.50. I get 81.79 Friday's high. 81.79 also last week's high. So 79 is the highs from last week and Friday. Probably recent highs as well. Could you see us? I mean, we're not that far from 75 or 79s right now, about 25 cents. Deke, possible short last week's high?
Yeah.
Just a trade idea, throwing it out there, just spitballing
yes,
here.
so I have a daily supply up at 81.90, which was narrowly missed last time that we were up there. So yeah, that's definitely a zone from 81.70 all the way up to 82 would be an area
82.
where I may consider some shorts. But be careful, everyone. If we leave single prints, especially if we leave multiple single prints in the run up to settlement, fading that is usually quite dangerous because this is a move that doesn't quite look completely normal. So if this is a directional move where someone is just plowing a whole bunch of money in there, you don't want to be like in the way of that. No. That's never comfortable. And for now, it's pushing with quite some conviction. So unless you're already in on this, just chill. There will be another opportunity that will present itself later in the session or maybe even tomorrow.
Hey, Is John back? Yeah, what's up, John? Question. All right, so about 25 minutes ago, we saw a delta in the ES at minus 11,000, minus 4,200 negative delta in the NQ. I was wondering if we get an update here at 10:22 Central Time.
Yeah, the current in the S&Ps is a negative 9,400, and we're relatively close to the highs here. Nasdaq negative 3,200, and we're right at basically point of control, center of the range here. So if there is a divergence, you could see it in the S&Ps. Just traded right back up to session value high, today's session value high, and seems to be just kind of coming off that a little bit. Not seeing any current like icebergs up here, anything like that. Just kind of wandering, seems.
Now it's going to roll over.
What's up, Nick? I heard that. What'd you do?
No, it just, we kind of just wicked the 24-hour VWAP at 9:30 and quickly tumbled off of it. So I think just same thing. I'm not executing well today, clearly. Reading it well, just not executing it well.
That happens. That's a very tricky spot to be. Paper trades. Your paper trades are working, your actual trades aren't. And yeah. So
yeah, this is why people on Twitter make money doing this stuff, because there's no pressure on you to just call out trades and call out suggestions and areas of interest, but you're not taking the trade. So
it's a beautiful
thing. Really, it's very easy to be right all the time that way.
Yeah, a lot of them do the whole hindsight capital thing. Yeah, they're like, I made this trade from this zone. It's like, why didn't you go into real time then?
Like, we are taking applications for hindsight capital here. We need some managing directors, partners, junior analysts. We're accepting all applications for hindsight capital, and it's pretty much 100% approval rate too. We pretty much take you all in. So yes, please. 8160.
Yeah, that short would have worked, but I was probably willing to. I mean, I would have wanted to wait for the euro close anyway.
Dude, you would have taken heat.
Yeah.
Nick, you were earlier discussing, what it's like trading on screen in front of God and everybody. It is different, isn't it?
100%, especially as you do things like with the leaderboard, and I know it's probably realistically it's Dakota and me. I would say that really are on a lot, are really willing to share and help and talk to traders. So the exposure and things like that, the pressure that you kind of feel, and then coupling that with no guys, I am truly a full-time trader right now, and this is really how I'm making my money, and I have no services, education, other BS that I do to actually pay my bills. Like it's my P&L. So for me, it definitely is more pressure bound to not only still be a profitable trader just in general, but to then do it in front of an audience for a majority of the session that I'm on. There's a whole, I know we've talked and you guys have had different trading psychologists and stuff like that on the show before, but like taking even that and then kind of coupling it even further of doing it with an audience, with the pressure of like, that's how you actually keep paying your mortgage and things like that.
Yep.
It's just a whole nother level of, I would say, decision-making and, second guessing and stuff like that, of just, nitpicking my entries and trying to be perfect, I guess, in this game, which is impossible.
That's the one thing I've been kind of internalizing, what my issues are with trying to trade on screen. And it's more when I find that when I'm on screen, it's more about making sure that I'm always right than making money.
Right.
And nobody's always right.
No.
It's just not going to happen. But you put that pressure on yourself, to say, I'm right. But we know that that's not possible. It's risk management, and it's
and then of course
it's hard. It's not easy.
Look at this sell off now. Look at this sell off.
And then you quintuple that with, I know people like to say this too, but it's like everyone wants to chase down Dakota. Like there's no question. Everyone wants to, come for that number one spot. Just there's an ego thing. There's a psychological thing. So it just creates more of a challenge in this game that is already probably the most difficult, easy money that you could ever make.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
so
not
I,
at
I
the-
got into that ego trip at the beginning
Oh,
of the
yeah.
year, and now I just don't care. So
Yep.
Exactly.
I don't know
You get
why
numb.
I let it get to me so much. Yeah, but in the last sort of 3 months, I'm just doing what I'm normally doing. I'm not chasing anyone. It's me versus me. So I'm not
Beautiful.
allowing
Right.
the leaderboard to get to me. I'm,
Good.
for some of these top step accounts, I'm not the biggest trader. I'm just aiming to have a good day, to make good decisions, no matter what else others
I
are
like that.
doing. So I think everybody should strive for that and not chase anybody. We're all here to help each other. And at the end of the day, we're all here to talk through trades and to give out some levels, make some money, limit risk,
Number
and,
one.
have fun, right?
Absolutely.
And a good reminder too, if you are trying to chase down me or chase down Dakota or anyone else that you guys are seeing on the show that's having, good weeks, good months. I mean, this is a long journey. There's no question. And even my balance for, what you're seeing for me is starting in January. So this is, months and months and months of work, taking it slow, being, risk adverse, walking away, having daily loss limits, like that full journey. So if you're trying to do this in five trading days and move to a live and, move $100,000 plus balance so that you can do it, it's a recipe for disaster. It's not a recipe for longevity in this game.
100%. Well said. We see the feedback we get, whether it's on Discord, Trustpilot, what have you. And one of the things that people I see, common theme from the positive feedback we get here on Top Step TV is they're really learning how to be patient and not overtrade because they're watching us here, watch the Nick for Ticks, the Johns, the D's. They're learning patience and not overtrading. They said if we didn't have something like this, they'd be overtrading, clicking, chasing markets, chasing price. This is a journey, and good trading is boring. We see David Green say it all the time when he's on with Dolby. Good trading is boring. So, with that being said, how do you make TV with that? But we couple it. We have Tradertainment. We like to, shoot the breeze, so to speak. But good trading is boring. But that's what you have trading buddies for. Constantly watching the markets, watching price action. But at the end of the day, good trading is boring. I do know that Dakota is short. It was short. Coach Dakota was short.
Here's
What was his
a
entry?
good question. He said, "Stop." Yeah, what was his entry?
I'm not sure. I saw it quick. It flew by in the chat. Maybe I see Dakota's in there. Very well said. Thank you,
Yeah,
Dakota.
Dakota, if you're in it. Oh, cool.
See that.
Yeah.
All right, really quick. I'm going to
If-
throw it to Eddie. I know Eddie's in the queue, ready to go with some plugs. We got some announcements to make. Got some exciting things coming out this week. Eddie, what do we got, my man?
Well, how y'all doing? We got one more of them Stetsons just sitting here waiting for you. Now, you earn your funded trading them little piggies, lean hogs? Well, let us know in live chat. We'll verify and send you a Stetson of your choice. So far, 4 have been claimed, and winners need to be based in the U.S. to qualify. So get your butt ready. Let's trade some of them lean hogs. Let us know if you pass.
I'm very excited.
Also, we've got some celebration here.
100.
Oh, 100?
100.
100? What's this 100? 100?
100.
Oh my goodness, 100K celebration this week. Yes, we are kicking off the celebration tomorrow, Tuesday, like they say here in Chicago. We'll have a discount for viewers and a giveaway for a free reset. But stay tuned throughout the week to learn more. We're kicking it off tomorrow. Okay, we're kicking it off tomorrow. So we are going to be having a real nice discount and a giveaway for a free reset. Also, check this out. Brett Steenbarger, world-renowned trading psychologist Brett Steenbarger, is returning to Top Step TV. July 2nd at 11 a.m. Central Time. He will be with us. He stopped by in May and spent an hour answering some of the toughest questions that you threw at him. He did quite well. And if you missed it, I've got the link here right in chat. If you missed the first one, there is our YouTube link. Check it out. But he's going to be back with us here July 2nd. It's going to be the next session. So I'm excited about that. Remember, so we've got the Stetson, one more to be claimed. We're going to start our kickoff tomorrow, 100K celebration, and Brett's going to be with us July 2nd. And I'm going to throw that back to Hoagman. I think that's all I've got. Johnny, back to you.
All right. Yeah, the session with Brett Steenbarger is going to be there's going to be a few coaches there. It's really going to be a fun session. We're really looking forward to that. And yeah, it's we're going to have some of our favorite coaches there, and it's really going to be good. And if you did miss the first one, definitely check out that link and watch the first one. Dr. Steenbarger is the one of the leading rating psychologists, so it's really going to be a good one.
There you go. Thanks, Johnny. I'm going to post that link again here. We got Andre coming back here. Actually, this is our third time with the doctor. We did one with Squawk Radio. You might find that in our podcasts. So he likes us here at Top Step, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
A good doctor in the house.
To drag out that Muse head device that I got.
What was it, D?
You can see this Steenbarger does this biofeedback thing, and he talked about the device that you put on your head and it measures your brain waves. So I got it.
Did you?
And yeah, it's quite funny because it goes around your ear and on your forehead, and then you kind of sit there with certain meditations as the birds are either singing or you get a storm if your mind is a bit turbulent. It's pretty interesting.
And what was your mind?
Well, I managed to stay, I only did a short session of about 10 minutes, and I managed to stay pretty composed for about 51% of it, which is not too bad. But yeah, so I've been doing meditating for a long time now. I don't know how well I would use it for trading, because I found that when I was trading and wearing it, my mind was almost always turbulent because you're thinking about a million different things. So obviously you're trying to concentrate. You're not being super calm. You're trying to process information, and that comes with higher brain waves, more like beta and gamma waves rather than alpha waves, which is what I think the app is actually fishing for. But yeah, it's certainly good to maybe step away from trading and then try and calm your mind before you come back to it. That would be a very good application for it. If you're a little bit, annoyed, or like Nick says, you hate watching something, you're probably going to find that your brain waves are going to reflect that. So maybe go away into a quiet room, put that thing on, and just going to chill out for a while until you get the birds singing, and then come back to it.
Yeah, hate watching is a venom in this game.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because eventually you fire from the hip with some size out of frustration. Even though you've been watching, you kind of then you get a big candle or something, or a bit of volatility, and without thinking, your brain turns off, and you pull the revolver from the holster and fire from the hip, and usually
luckily I stopped doing that about
duel.
7-8 years ago, I think. Because I've been trading for 16 years, I think I'm at a point where I'm not really that bothered by size, or even if I have a not such a great day, I will just review it at the end of the day. So it's I'm more annoyed if I read something correctly and then I'm not in it at all than losing a trade. So I would rather, try something and lose a trade than be I was completely right. That probably kills me more, to correctly have the price level, everything happens as you wanted it to happen, and then you're just I didn't go in. What are you doing? Why? So that would be more of a pain level for me. But, if I'm kind of missing out on things that are not in my plan, I'm totally fine with that at this point.
Got Case in the chat wants a poll for how many people journal every day. How many people journal every day? All right, we can do how about the poll? Do you journal every day? Yes or no?
There should be a couple of questions to that.
Right before we do those polls, because they might take a bit, we need to clear that poll energy so we can do a quick Series 3.
Whoa.
Which is always, today's Series 3 is, I think, pretty easy.
Sponsored. Series 3 pop quiz brought to you by so-and-so. It's a sponsor.
Especially as mentioned, it should be easy because, Andre, you are the chairman of Hindsight Capital. I believe we've shown the list before.
Hell yes.
Before we get to the question, yeah, we'll throw up the. Well, I guess we got the question.
Okay.
So here we go. In a normal agricultural market, in which the difference between distant futures and near futures is expected to narrow, a spreader would A, buy near futures and sell distant futures, B, sell near futures and buy distant futures, C, buy short, D, sell short.
Supposed to narrow. So the spread's going to narrow.
Okay. So a normal agricultural market, prices in the deferred
the rear
months should be higher than the front month.
Right.
So if that's the case, then you would want to buy nearby futures and sell the deferred futures.
Yeah.
Buy the front and sell the back, correct?
Right.
Buy the front, sell. Yep.
Yeah.
Nick's got the book there, I see.
Yeah, I ordered this. It finally came, so I can actually start really studying and actually take my test. So I'm probably going to do that next month. I'm probably going to do an MP did. I'll probably read through this once, take a practice test, and then go fire at the hip and see if I can pass it on the first shot.
All right. So,
well, I didn't even have to give any leading indicators on the question. Let's see what the answer is, Gabe.
All right.
Hey.
All right.
You are correct, sir. It is buy near futures, sell distance.
John, did you already have a Series 3 at some point?
Me?
Hoke had it at one point, didn't you?
Well, I was an exchange member for 30 years, so that in itself was basically a Series 3, and you could use it as a Series 3 back in the day. But now there's no trading floors, even members would have to take a Series 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Everywhere I traded didn't have any outside clients, so you didn't have to take any of those things.
Right.
I worked for one place that did require an RDR qualification. It's a different qualification here. So because of that, I took like a level 4 IAD back in the day. And I don't really think I ever used it. And it was the only reason why is because it was a cross between like a prop trading company and an asset management firm. So they had a little bit of mixed in investor funds and they just couldn't let you trade without it. But the questions are not similar. Like one of the reasons why I know some of them and I'm like not quite clear on the others is because it was like derivatives regulation whole in the UK market. So obviously that's quite a bit different because we have different laws over here. So I'm just going to have to like brush up on things and see what the differences are. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that towards the end of the year, maybe. Yeah.
I like the end of the year. When it gets cold out, I'll really hit the books.
Yeah.
But
Stay inside. Yeah.
Summertime shy is in full effect right now. So
that's why I think I'm going to do it in July. Trading is going to be, I would imagine next month the range may get a little tighter unless we have some aspect of event fall or something. So perfect time to study in the afternoons after maybe sneaking out a trade in the morning session.
There you go. I like that. All right, quick recap of the markets here. 71% short YM to those, what was it, 12% that trade the YM here?
Yeah, but that's like that's like 3 people.
We had to do the poll. It was very inexact. Yes, sir. NQ says summertime shy. We have to enjoy it. It's short. You get it, NQ. Appreciate that. What was the chat? Oh, yes. Another poll, if you don't mind, Robert, or whoever's on the polls. Someone in the chat want to know, do you journal every day? Yes or no? Very simply put, yes or no. Do you journal every day? I
Be honest.
I know. I got mine right here. Journal every day, right here.
Yeah, by the way, you don't have to journal every day. I like to journal maybe in the beginning, but after a while it's going to be quite repetitive. So what you want to do is to fish for areas that need improvement and then see the mistakes that you're making continuously, or maybe making mistakes that you used to make, but now they've cropped up again because maybe you got yourself in a bad period and you suddenly made some bad decisions. That's the time to start really journaling and drilling into the things that you need to improve.
Nice, Robert. Yes, there you go. In the poll, do you journal every day? Yes, no, yes, but not every day, which is perfectly acceptable, like Dee was saying. And my journals are not like Dear Diary, like Dee always makes that joke. It's not Dear Diary. My journal is I'm writing down all the economic releases for the day and a bunch of trade ideas. And if the trade ideas, if they played out, or if they didn't play out, it's an X, it's a scratch. If they do play out, then we'll expand on that. But that's what my journaling is as we're doing the show here. So my journaling is going to be a little different. Essentially, that's what it was like when I was trading. I'd have the calendar for the day, who the speakers are, what the economic releases are, auctions, what have you, as my checklist. And then I have trades and levels like that. So it's not Dear Diary, I woke up tired, but it can be.
Yeah.
You can also always, it can include
It
anything.
can be a part of it. Yeah, it can
100%.
definitely be like a part of an emotional checklist, because
Yes.
you don't want to be
Yes.
trading when you're sick or pissed off, or,
Correct.
you really want to be in a calm mindset.
Hungover.
But at the same time, it's not about, crying over a laminated, piece of paper to soak up, so that it doesn't soak up your tears. It's not about that. It's about fishing for your weakness. It's like, literally, what did I do good? What can be improved? And what did I completely mess up? Let's work on the things that are hindering my performance the most. Let's
Right.
tackle that one by one. Also, don't try and tackle a whole bunch of things at once, because that'll be like, trying to stop smoking, moving house, having a child, like all of the things that you're not supposed to be doing all at once. So find one weakness that is really bothering you. Either you're removing stops or moving stops or trading with size. Pick one of those, and then spend the next 2 weeks deliberately not doing that. And you will see an improvement in your results pretty quickly when you start doing it methodically.
Like that. The tip of the week here, Top Step TV. Tip of the week: know your triggers. Right? Know your triggers. There's much to learn from our emotions, and one of the most important is to know when to stay away. Common triggers: specific amount of losses, number of losing trades. What about things outside of trading? This is great stuff. What are your triggers? You can definitely work that into your journal entries. My triggers are, like Nick was saying, good paper trading, bad real trading. It's brutal. When your paper trades work, your real trades don't, then you start shooting from the hip, and that's when it snowballs into, bleep. There goes my week.
That's when
Bleep. There goes my month.
That's when you want to step away and go have a ham sandwich.
Ham
Get
sandwich.
yourself back to center.
It's always a good
100%.
good idea.
100%.
No, there's an end of day journaling, like just kind of stream of consciousness. Just write it all down, especially like some of the bad things that we say to ourselves. Just get it out, write it down, and then burn that piece of paper or throw it away or whatever it is. But just kind of let it all out on a piece of paper so that it's no longer eating you inside, and then you'll be a little bit fresher the following
like
session.
that. All right, Nick's looking at something over there. I don't know what, because Nasdaq's chopping around sideways. S&P's stuck at 550. Magical number 550. I thought we were going to make a run for 20,000 in the Nasdaq. We got about 4 points away from that. I thought we were going to make a run for 40,000 in the Dow. We got about 4 points from that as well. So we got these big fat round numbers. By all means, there's plenty of time left in the day. 10:45 Central Time here. About 12 minutes left here in Fast Markets. I know we do have some hashtag Fast Markets content coming for you. So when we're ready for that, James, let me know. We can jump in whenever with that and close it out here. But Nick, what are we looking for? What are you looking at in there? When you get quiet, I know you're hawking something. You're looking at something.
I still don't love the diddle in the middle trade, but I'm seeing ES not able to build back above 55.50, which makes me still want to lean into a short. So I was potentially getting in. I scratched it. I think I'm going to wait. I don't love lunch hour trades, but if we get the move right now, we get the move. And I think that sums up. I would probably just lock out at a scratch for the day in my live and go trade my XFAs or something, just because it's, yeah. If this rolls over, I am probably done with my live account for today.
There was some cynicism in that laugh. I could feel it. Here, MP in the chat. Vidun tells a great story of the last month in history about how to treat your traders. MP tweeting from the jungle. I don't know if you guys know. He's in Central America right now, from the jungle. Still tweeting, still working. I'm sure his family is loving the fact that he's still on the phone with the Twitter fingers. But the man just loves trading, loves Top Step, loves Top Step TV. So he's in there. What's up, Michael? Good to see you.
No sleep for the reply guys. You gotta keep tweeting.
Yes, you do.
It's good work, MP.
We got Coach Dakota in the chat. Still sitting in this cheap short NQ at 19,917. Average price 19,917. Current trade 19,910. So he's about 6 points in the money there. We'll definitely take that. Keep us posted there, Dakota. Jacob Leone says, "Hey, I'm in Central America." Well, MP might be close to you, might not.
Mm.
Central America is a rather big place.
Yeah.
Is Island Mike back?
This is Jungle Mike. I don't know. We'll see what kind of
That's
version we
kinda
get from.
like, yeah.
Yeah,
Cartel
this
Mike,
might.
where in Central America is he?
Yeah, I believe he's Costa Rica. I believe he's in right now. Pura Vida, Pura Vida. But yes, yeah, that's what you wake up to. You wake up to those things, man. Dude, those monkeys
They'll
don't
steal your
play.
wallet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't play. Yes, they will steal your wallet. You got to keep your windows closed in the hotel. Oh man, they do not play around. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful there. Those howler monkeys, man. Hey, you got some Costa Rica in the house. Pura Vida, there you go. Pablo Trader, you get it.
Somebody
Wow.
says
Like-
ayahuasca.
Like Central America over here right now. Christ.
D, just in the sweltering heat. Look at the sweltering heat. Oh, D.
I'm like melting away. I'm gonna need a shower after this. Is
Oh,
disgusting.
Well, at least the trading hasn't been brutal yet, because they could couple with that.
Yeah,
as
not
well.
yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Oh. What is the next game?
Oh, God.
D, have you been following the Euros, the Euro Cup, the Euro Championship at all over
No,
there?
do you see? Oh, I'm so terrible with that. There was a Serbia versus England the other
Yes,
day, and
that's what I was
me and my
asking.
husband we missed it. Yeah, we
Oh.
missed it. So I was like,
Okay.
oh, I totally forgot. And
That
then
was
every time there's a game, we're like, oh, we missed it. Like you see it on Google News or something, and we
Uh-huh.
just look at each other and we just go, we're Muppets.
Oh.
Like, what are we doing? So yeah, no, I haven't actually been following apart from just looking at the results. Have you? Have you been watching?
I have. Well, they go on right now during the show, but I record them all, and then if I have time, I'll watch. Over the weekend, I definitely watched them.
No.
I'm Polish, and we're the first team knocked out. So of course we stink at soccer. We always qualify, but we're just so bad. Very, very
Yeah, I
terrible.
think
Watch some United
Serbia,
States.
Serbia is not much better. I think we kind of do okay in the beginning, and then the
Slavic
pressure kind of gets to the
Yes.
players, and no, which is a shame because I think we
Well-
have some good players.
Yes.
Well, D, Taylor Swift was in London over the weekend. Did you
No.
go see Taylor Swift?
Big deal.
I did not. I had to go to my sister-in-law's 60th birthday yesterday, so we spent a nice day in the countryside, just hanging with the husband side of the family. So that was pretty nice.
Very nice.
But yeah, no,
You
I
gotta
I
ask.
have not seen Taylor Swift. No.
I gotta ask
Not-
John. John,
not
I gotta
really
ask. How
something
did you
that
know?
I
How
would-
did you know Taylor Swift was in London? How did you know that, John?
Asking the
All
real
right.
questions.
One of
Fan club.
a friend of my wife's
Mm-hmm. Sure.
went to London with her daughter to go
Oh,
see
shit.
Taylor Swift.
100.